Hey YouTubers, Xfactor here. I get asked a million questions via comments and personal messages and emails every single day. And I promised you guys I'd start doing a Q&A. Well, guess what? Joseph asked me to help participate in his sophomore research project. I'm going to use those questions to kind of jumpstart this whole ordeal. Meantime, this is some aftermath footage where the dedication and commitment of one individual pays off 2 times. So it's going to be kind of tied into some of the questions and answers. So let's get started. First question Joseph asks is, how did you get involved in competitive gaming? Well, let's roll back to my childhood years. My family, we were all athletes. Baseball, basketball, football. We were gone in the summer times. We held jobs and we were pretty good at school. So we didn't have a lot of time, but my dad had a Nintendo system. We grew up playing Mario Kart. We grew up playing the original Mario, Super Tecmo Bowl. But I wasn't really involved, or nor did I have the time until after my senior year of high school. I decided to build myself a PC and then get involved in a game called PlanetSide 1. And I fell in love with the first-person shooter. That's where I met Cartel. And he basically said after a couple years, hey, why don't you come hang out with us on the battlefield? And the rest is history. What aspects of your normal life can you apply to gaming? Well, I think some of this boils down to what kind of person are you in a juggling type setup. I juggle a lot of stuff in my real life, career, personal life. I might be entwined in multiple conversations in a meeting from multiple aspects, and I gotta be able to connect all the dots in real time. That pans over into the gaming world. What's going on in the mini-map? Is the tank sneaking up? Are both bombs set? Should I rush the bomb? Are my teammates alive? Are they dead? Do I see things behind me? All of that stuff. Not to mention, some of my personality traits come out. My seriousness comes out. My competitiveness comes out. My goofiness definitely comes out when you guys hear me laugh maniacally. Brings me back to my childhood when, the biggest worry you have as a kid is, wow, is it nice outside? Can I go play baseball, basketball, hang out at the pool? Right? So, that's what's nice for gaming for me, is I can bring whatever part of my normal life, my mood, my attitude into it at that very moment. Is it time for me to be Mr. Serious Pants because we've got a scrim or we need to work on stuff? Or can I really lay back, play with some of the guys, and just let the cards lie? So you can either bring some of that in or completely ignore that stuff. And that's the great part about gaming. You can either be a part of it or escape it all, right? Next question is, what do you think makes a game attractive to competitive gamers as opposed to a casual gamer? I think for a game to be successful on the competitive side, it first has to be successful on the casual side because you need a base to market to. Look at StarCraft 2 and League of Legends. League of Legends just had a live stream tournament. 250,000+ people watched it. They're all not competitive players. 99% of those are casuals. StarCraft 2, need I say more? Massively successful competitive and casual game. Now in Battlefield, this is a successful casual game, but it could be more successful on the competitive side, but we're limited based on the lack of ability of spectate mode, a battle recorder, and the ability for us to mod things as we see fit as a competitive community. That's really hindered the progression of Battlefield 3 in the competitive scene, and hopefully they've learned that lesson for Battlefield 4. Because the people are clamoring for it, but the competitive scene is a 10th, a 20th, a 50th of what it really could be if these tools that exist in other games existed in this one. Next question is, do you think a career in gaming will be possible in the future? If so, when do you think it will be possible? I actually think it's possible now. Esports are bigger than they've ever been, whether it's the FPS scene such as Counter-Strike Go, Battlefield, StarCraft, League of Legends, and any other big title that'll be coming out in the next couple years. People are making money doing this. Are they less than a 10th of a percentage? Absolutely. But let's look at another side of the coin. Broadcasting yourself, marketing yourself in YouTube. There are people in YouTube that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and they're only limited by their own creativity. And that's the neat thing about YouTube is there are all different types of niches. What's your personality type? What's your delivery mechanism? People might tune into you. I'm literally new to this YouTube thing, and at the end of the day, my career is what allows me to afford the lifestyle that I've chosen and support my family. But the YouTube money that comes in, that's some extra for the girls' college fund and whatever I see fit to use it as. That's nice. And again, I'm the new guy. This is a drop in the bucket compared to what's out there. There are guys that literally make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. So the technology is here. More people are turning to YouTube for entertainment versus cable TV every single day. So, if you got some ideas, if you're a creative individual, or if you found your own niche, go start a channel. I did, and I never thought I'd be this size I am today. I literally said, hey, if I get 1,000 subs, this is going to be successful because I just want to share a message. Well, now we're at almost 80,000 a year later. Crazy, huh? How much time during the week do you spend gaming? Well, this is an answer that changes based on what stage of the game I'm at. When Battlefield 3 first launched and I was competing with Rival and we had multiple teams going, it was 4 hours a night, minimum. And that was Sunday through Thursday. We'd take Fridays and Saturdays off, and that'd be our scrim practice drill nights. Now that it's just basically pub play for me, for the most part, I'm averaging 2 to 3, but again, it's not straight. It can be an hour here, half hour there, get a couple rounds in, go take care of the kids, the baby, spend time. And the weekends is a little bit more because that's when I usually like to catch up, are those Saturdays and then those Sundays. I can steal a couple extras hours in. But if you're starting off or doing the competitive thing, you know, you're looking at easily, you know, probably 20, 25 hours a week at a minimum. If you could change anything about gaming casual or competitive, in-game or out of game, what would you change? For me, it's all about the way the developers interact with the community and the people that pay and support their product. I want to go back to another group in another game that I've worked with, is Plant Side. Those developers do unbelievable things to stay tied to the community and make sure they're constantly grafting information and thought processes from the community on the changes they're making. They have a roadmap that you're allowed to vote on what changes and what ideas go in the game and what tweaks. How cool is that? I really wish we had more of that. Right or wrong, the developers would be able to at least see our voice in the Battlefield community and be able to make decisions based on massive numbers. And that, in turn, would bring more community members to these public forums to voice their opinion in an educated manner. And of course, thanks to the invention of Reddit and the way things seed, the trolls, they just get buried in the muck. So what stays is usually the helpful, critical information that the developers really need to see, or the largest voice is heard. And that's what it's really about, right? Having your voice, a common idea, sent through to the developers. Compare and contrast sports and competitive gaming. The funny thing about this is the way I approach both is much the same. I grew up playing baseball and basketball and volleyball on a competitive level, whether it was AAU, fair tournaments, high school tournaments, you name it. So what did that take? It took hours, it took dedication, it took practice, it took a ton of stuff. Eating right, sleeping right, making sure you're mentally and physically prepared, and there's some dedication right there. After he got shot in the face multiple times, he gets me with the C4, so that's one. And competitive gaming is much the same. It takes a mental commitment, a physical commitment, and again, there's certain things that you have to do to be on top of your game. You have to eat right, you have to sleep right, and you have to work on your mechanics, just like you would playing a real sport. It's amazing the similarities, actually. Here's a touchy question. PC gaming is vastly superior to console gaming in performance and graphics. What do you think the console industry will do to stay relevant? Consoles have the perfect recipe to stay relevant. They're affordable, they're portable, and the masses already own them. It's just up to them to stay relevant by introducing new technologies and improving upon the ones that they have. But no PC will ever be as cheap or as available as a console. So consoles are king when it comes to sales numbers, and I think they will be for the next 5 or 6 years until we talk about the next gen console, and we'll see where PC parts come from there. If PC gets more affordable, sure, but right now to have a custom PC, it's at least $1,000 for something that's decent. Double that if you want something high end. What's next gen console gonna cost you? $400, $500? That's a big price difference. You can have something in your hands that fits in a box and you're ready to go. Here's a funny question. How long do you spend filming and editing videos? Well, obviously, the filming part, every round, you guys can figure that out. And I probably play 2 to 3 hours a night, but the editing, I don't really do much of that. So if I'm doing something like the X-Files and it's a 2-minute clip, believe it or not, that's probably a half hour out of my day. Right there. That's why you don't see that series a lot. But something with these helpful tips, or when I do these commentaries over live footage where I'm talking about it, as quick as I can blow through the footage, I'm done. I usually do them in one take. So if it's 10 minutes of footage, you're looking at roughly 10 to 15 minutes just in case I make a little verbal boo-boo in there that I feel like correcting. When you aren't playing Battlefield 3, what other games do you play? Well, it's SimCity, but that game doesn't work right now. It's funny because an actual rep for the company sent me a private email saying, hey, we want to help you get your city unlocked so you can actually play the game again. So I usually float around 2 to 3 games. I also mess around with Black Ops 2 because my entire family has Xboxes. I'm talking 3 or 4 Xboxes. They all play Modern Warfare and Black Ops. So I actually spent time sitting on cousins' couches and family members' couches getting my ass kicked on the console version of Black Ops, simply because I can't aim and navigate my way around a map, nor do I know them. So the funny story was, I did a video on this the other day. I could know my cousin is going to come through a 3-foot wide doorway, and he'd still shoot me in the face 70 to 80% of the time because he'd be 6 inches to the right, and I just couldn't get there fast enough, or I'd simply over-aim. Why do you think violent video games are so popular with young teenagers, and do you think there should be more strict rules regarding what age groups should be allowed to play certain games? I don't think there should be an age restriction because I grew up playing some of the most violent, graphic, gory games, including all the original Mortal Kombat titles, thanks to my uncle every Christmas, along with my brother and other people I know, and none of us are violent monsters. We're all pretty passive people that get along, and I didn't get in a lot of fights as a kid. A lot of defensive stuff. I never provoked any situations, and I don't think they should really over-govern this because at the end of the day, we all know this is make-believe land. This is a video game, and that's why you play them, right? Because it's not real life. And here's the dedication again of an individual trying to get my tags, because that's still going on. If you knife me and take my Dice approved dog tags, take a screenshot, you got a shot to win some free Battlefield 4 copies. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this first Q&A, and feel free to start asking me questions down below. It can be about gaming, personal life, philosophy, medical, science, anything you can think of. I'm going to start doing this on a weekly basis, make a series of it, because I've literally been asked a bajillion questions in the past and never really taken the time to form a series out of this. And as always, I'm trying to watch the flank here, hoping my team can succeed in the middle, but it just didn't pan out. But at least they didn't get back rage, and here's the dedication finally paying off. First he C4s me, and then he finally gets them tags. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget about the old thumbs up. And I look forward to seeing some of the crazy questions down below.